when you have a job for 2.5 years out of 3 years, and you're not on drugs, and you need to keep rebuying the things that you buy every week because somebody keeps stealing everything that you buy within 2 weeks to 2 months of you buying the thing. You're not homeless because of bad decision making. That's the false scenario that they present prior to, so that way you can't think outside of that box of that would be the reason why somebody would still be homeless. At one point, I had 2 jobs for a 6-month period within this 3 years. Still, was not able to afford a place to live. And because a car is at least $430 a month, plus insurance for the new cars everybody has, I'm guessing at least another $200, that's $600. And an apartment in San Antonio is at least $1,000 a month. So that means that every person in San Antonio, at least, is obtaining $1,600 from jobs that I have not seen a job that will pay more than $12 an hour. So you're trying to tell me that everybody works one or more jobs or is getting paid more than $12 an hour to be able to afford $1,600 worth of bills before electricity, utilities, and food. That doesn't make sense. The most you can make a month with a $12 an hour pay is $1,500. And if you don't take out the taxes, well, that's with taxes taken out. If you didn't take out the taxes, it'd be like around 19. But I've never seen a check more than $450. And every time you get a good check, the next week's hours are always cut. So you're trying to tell me that with the ratio of businesses to houses, that everybody has a job and that job pays them enough to spend $1,600 on transportation, a car, and a place to live, $200 on food, so that's $1,800 right there. That would leave them with $100, but somehow everybody had an extra $1,000 to go to the Taylor Swift concert. With the exception of I. So where in the rational world would every person have a job? In what rational world is there enough jobs for every person to afford these things? There isn't. This world is a fuck over. Apparently orchestrated around I to fuck I over. I already told you who did it. That's why they gotta hide behind he's mentally ill, because that's what the people who changed Berenstein to Berenstain would want you to think. And every rational person, every mentally healthy person is going to say, Well, why would they want to fuck with you? Well, if they hadn't been orchestrating me poor from the moment that I was getting on the internet to stop me from presenting myself as I truly am and my likability, then you would be able to see if I was not being forced homeless at no fault of mine because I've had a job, 2 jobs, a job for 2 years, 2.5 years out of this, and 2 jobs for 6 months out of those 2.5 years out of 3 years. So why would they want to fuck with you? Well, if they hadn't been orchestrating me homeless, forcing me into a mental state of constant survival in order to... When you don't know where you're going to sleep, you have to figure out where you're going to sleep every day. And when you don't know where you're going to sleep every day, it's stressful because you don't know where you're going to sleep every night. Sorry, every night. We don't sleep during the day.
That's mentally ill to think they say it like that.
So when you're in a constant state of survival because you don't have a place to go to after work. See, with the people with a car, when you get out of work, you go into your car and then you relax. That ends your state of survival mindset that you have because you're at work, and that's why you're there, to maintain your survival. So when you don't have a car, when a person, I, don't have a car, you do not get to relax as soon as you get into your car after work. And that continues because you don't know where you're going to sleep. And that prevents me from having the location and the restful mindset to be able to have the extra time and energy, the extra time and mindset to be able to create videos, songs, and pictures that show you how I am in a normal, human, afforded place to live and way to get around mind state like everybody in the fucking world. Now, rational people and people that are provocateurs for these I'm gonna call them interdimensional beings. People that pretend like they're normal people, but really they're just here to fuck things over and act like they're not, would say, why would they want to fuck with you? You're homeless. You've never done anything. Well, the reason why they'd fuck with me is because in a timeline, in a lifespan where they didn't fuck me over, that they got to watch from their interdimensional position, meaning being able to see what happens before they're tampering and fucking over of the person, they know what I did and created. So what they did, and interdimensional, so like time travel, pause time, or other means of seeing what somebody did before they've lived it, they would go into the future, gather all the art that I created, and then come back with that already made art, and then give it to their friends to release as if they've released it before I've made the fucking art, and then try to detriment me poor so that way they're trying to rub it in my face, or me unknowingly liking things that I made that they're taking credit for, and indirectly giving them credit, attribution for the art that I created, and they think that that's the biggest burn in the world. But really, it's not their own because they didn't make the art. They're still writing on the back of art that I created, so that means that it's still my own. Because you perform a song that was first played by somebody else does not mean that you made that song. In reality, if you try to claim that you made that song or not, and that's why I'm God, the highest, most divine being in all of existence, because I understand that, and these thieves are stupid and do not understand that. Fact. So again, why would somebody want to fuck you over? You're a homeless nobody. Well, having seen what the fuck I do and have done and made, and if you're a smart person, you would, and part of the reason why they needed to stop me from being able to have a place to do this, if you see me play music, it becomes very apparent who I would have already been married to without the last 12 years of fucking over. Or it started orchestrated before then because they made the bullshit that they fucked me over with illegal 30 years before I got fucked over with it, which means that they were working on fucking me over before then. You would be aware that I'd be married to the most famous pop star in the world. Do you think that somebody that has prior knowledge to what would work and what would not work in the world would invest in something that they do not know, that they're not aware would make a lot of money? Do investors invest in things that they are aware or not aware of that they would not make a lot of money with? No. Have you ever seen Hot Tub Time Machine? What did Lou guy from Hot Tub Time Machine go and do? He bought stocks in Google because he knew that that was going to be successful. So what they did was they saw that me and Taylor Swift became the most famous people in the world, and women get their value system from their man, and a real man's value system, when it's proper and right, always right, it cannot be corrupted. Therefore, they needed to orchestrate me poor and her the most wealthy person in the world and famous, because a woman's value system is more malleable than a man who's always right and not a selfish thief. So, after they went in time and stole all my art and saw that me and Taylor Swift became the most famous people in the world, they said, we'll make him poor and then put her under contract to make money off of her because we know that that works. And then she'll be so adapted to her lifestyle of being wealthy that and will have brainwashed all women and forced them to only date men for money, that she'll be beyond the point of dating somebody because that's who she would have been dating without us fucking him over. Again, what makes me think that I would have gotten with Taylor Swift? Well, I could show you right now, but 2 days after I got out of jail, the people trying to stop me from being able to show you for the past 30 years stole my guitar. They've used a process that I call diluting, meaning that they wanted to make her so famous so that way everybody's like, oh, I love Taylor Swift, that when I got to do it, it would be so diluted that she'd just rush it off as, oh, everybody tells me that they love me. And with the release of the internet, they also did this with pretty much every woman I would have dated. Made them value fake computer numbers, half of those that a method of holding the world hostage so that way they can act like they provide more with the thing that they use to keep everything hostage with. Money is a hostage situation. Somebody said, we're going to keep everything from everybody and they need money. But we make the money, so print the money. So they're going to have to do what we say to get the thing that we're keeping everything from them with. There are much better ways to distribute money, wealth, to the people. But the people that stole the idea of the exchange of money for goods wanted to pervert that so that way it would only make themselves have everything instead of everybody else. The way the God original idea for money was just the methods of not needing to drag a cow around to trade for some apples and not be monopolized. Monopolized means controlled by one person or group. The United States borrows money from a bank that's owned by 5 people and their family, and those 5 people and their family use that money to buy everything and those are the bank robbers, the people holding everything in the world hostage from you and I, and blaming me not having a house on me not wanting to work. Because people that don't come up, that aren't interested in creating real solutions that work for everybody, brush dirt under a rug. Dirt in that instance, meaning things that they cannot explain away, and ignore them as if it's just something that happens that can't be fixed. But in reality, they're either too stupid to fix it, or their greed makes them not want to fix it. But you need to not be complacent in the simplicity that was supposed to be the money system as a means of exchange, not a means of enriching 5 families. A handful of families. Money is not a good decision maker, as evident by the fact that people go to jail because of money. Not because drugs are actually dangerous. And the part that they love is that since everybody is being forced to need money, so that way they can buy everything from everybody, women are forced to need money. So that means that the women are forced to date men with more money because that's how they get more stuff. And that's how lesser men, bitch idiot men, less intelligent, less good for existence, the world, and everyone, men get women that were created to ease the life of people that are better than men who hold the world hostage with money. I am God. I'm on the fucking dollar. Look at this eye. You see that? Looks just like the eye on the fucking dollar, does it not? And I'm about to try to change that now. So here's what really happened. Apparently, I'm connected to a neural link in a higher existence somewhere. Supposedly, this is supposedly what it is. This world isn't physical because it's connected to my brain, even though everything feels physical. and killing yourself, the only way that they left me to get out is physical. But it's connected to my brain very Neuralink. It's mental. So it's not like violence, but psychological torture, and depending on the severity, is torture. Just like physical torture, is torture. And what they did was that they took all my ideas that I had for a perfect world that I wrote in my notebook as I cried in a field somewhere, and took all those ideas, put me in a box, hooked me up to Neuralink against my will, grabbed me by the arms and fucking put me in the chair and put the fucking thing in my head, or put me in the cupboard of a virtual reality for this shit, and then stole all of my ideas because I do the best work. That's why people would steal my stuff. That's why I would be where... It's easier to stop somebody from getting where they want and then saying that they wouldn't have been there than to make something better than that person would have gotten if you not tried to fuck them over. That's the validation of my superiority and what the fuck you did. Because a fact is a fact whether you like it or not, or pretend that it's real or not. So if the Berenstein Bears can change to the Berenstain Bears without a trace, that would mean that people from somewhere had the ability to come here and fuck shit up to try to make you think that things are, or try to make things different than what they would be if they hadn't come and fucked things up. And that's why I'm not with Taylor Swift. That's why the world hasn't gotten better in since its pinnacle in what, like, since sliced bread, since that's why they try to perpetrate mental illness, because it's an invisible thing that you can't explain, but that's the only thing that you'll accept because most of you guys, some of you guys have thoughts. But these people also say that spirits and ghosts don't exist because there's no evidence of it. You can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't measure it. And that's what they hide behind. Demons love this height, width, and depth thing, height, width, and length thing, because they can hide behind walls and the shitty things that they do to fuck people over. That's why I've had to buy my laptop 3 times, and maybe 2, while I've been in San Antonio for 3 years without a job, because and each time was when I made 3 months worth of content or started recording music again. Within the next 2 days, my stuff gets stolen. Do you think that that's coincidence, or do you think that it just happens to be then, so that way and my ability and the theft of me presenting or releasing things to show how productive I am, and that's part of what they're trying to stop, so that way you'll be like, well, who are you? Why would they want to fuck with you? You're not anybody. You never done anything. At least 3 to 5 times before I was, at least 3 to 5 instances before I was playing music. Sorry, not before I was playing music. At least 3 or 4 times in my early years of playing music, I got told, wow, you sound like boy Taylor Swift, at least 5 times. Now, if I record an album and my laptop gets stolen the day after, that would be trying to destroy the ability for me to show people that that's likely what would have happened because of what I do and how I do it. Marrying Taylor Swift. There's a theory that she's been bought by time travelers. And her initiation was to fuck me over because I'm her person that she would have got with. But it's another thing. Initiation ritual, because they want to act. They want the world to think that money is the source of happiness above affection that is free from people that you get it from, especially in a world that's not being bought by money. The idea of everybody needing to work for money, the idea of working for money keeps people from doing what they want to do, spending time with their family, what they're capable of doing, and the time that they're wasting needing to do something else because they need to get money to live and afford things. Making money not only a waste of time, a forced waste of time, and a bad decision maker because people are being forced to need money, when they should just have all the money that they need. And then guess what? If we give everybody, hold on, if everybody was gave all the money that they need for their expenses, the inflation would go crazy. That's why you stop the ability of inflation. It's not that fucking hard. You gotta be smart to think like that, though. That would mean that the only people that would be at work would be people that want to work to save the money that they make, because all their expenses would be paid with a government check, a government deposit of money. That means you get more pleasant interactions when you go to McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or your fucking oil place, your car fixing place, because the people there want to make money, so they're gonna give you a better experience. And on top of that, making it better, those people, expenses are already paid. That means that they get to save the money that they work for. The time that they go and work for money isn't completely wasted because they get to save that money for whatever expensive thing that they want. And then they don't have to work with lazy people who don't want to work. Lazy people. There's a lot of things that I could be doing that I've done and had to redo, and they're still trying to stop because they want to act like they're the best. And when people are stopping the best from being the best, that creates a fake best, and that lowers the fucking bar for everybody, and everybody stupidly starts to believe that less than best is best. And that's not how you get the best outcome for the fucking world. It might make the world easier for the children of people that steal, but it doesn't make the world better for everyone. But it doesn't make the world better for everyone. Yeah, I didn't plant that, by the way. Good placement, though. Too bad red, white, and blue means freedom until it's behind you in lights. So the question is, why am I poor? Because interdimensional time travelers who saw that I got with Taylor Swift and the changes that I was able to make for the world to make the world better wanted to reap the benefits. I can say did not like that, but that's not a good explanation for rational people. They wanted to reap the benefit of the wealth that I'd created on that path to have for themselves. And fuck all the women that I got for being such a good guy, by acting like they're good guys and trying to replicate my behavior. And reading their likes. I'm eating shit. And buying all their internet activity in the future from the past so that they can see everything that they like and act like they're perfect for them instead of me by having more money.